But here is where it gets even more insulting. When you frame that purchase as a need, you are lying to your future self to soothe your current insecurity. You are prioritizing a momentary rush of status over the quiet, compounding power of your own bank account. You think you're wealthy because you carry the right brand, but you're actually just a high-functioning consumer building someone else's empire while your own net worth stagnates. And if you think the damage stops at the lost $86,000, you are sorely mistaken. Because there is one specific psychological trap you're falling into every single time you click Add to Cart that guarantees you'll stay in this cycle forever. But that's not even the craziest part of the equation. You think your brain is making choices, but let's be real. It's actually just a glorified vending machine for corporate algorithms. If you want to stop the bleeding, you need a protocol that works faster than your dopamine receptors can fire. I call it the 48-hour freeze. The next time you feel that frantic, clawing need to treat yourself to a $500 accessory you definitely don't need, you force yourself to wait exactly 48 hours, no exceptions. Put the item in the cart, close the tab, and walk away. Here is the savage reality. 90% of that gotta have it feeling will evaporate within 2 hours because your brain's chemistry resets once the immediate visual stimulus is gone. If you still want it in 2 days, you're making a conscious choice. If you've forgotten about it, you just saved yourself a $500 hit to your net worth. It's not about deprivation, It's about regaining control over a nervous system that's been hijacked by marketing departments with billion-dollar budgets. But the 48-hour freeze is only your defense. To actually build wealth, you need an offense, and that's where you have to automate the gap. Most people spend what they have and save what's left, which is, let's be honest, usually nothing. If you want to break the cycle, you need to automate your investments to move the second your paycheck hits. I'm talking about taking 15 to 20% of your income and siphoning it into a brokerage account before you ever see a cent of it in your checking account. By the time you're ready to pay your rent or grab that overpriced latte, the gap between what you earn and what you spend is already safely tucked away in assets. You're paying your future self a commission for your hard work before the
Warning. Version A is the one who keeps chasing that dopamine hit. You bought that $500 designer bag, and maybe you kept the cycle going, spending a few grand a year on things that depreciate the moment you cut the tag off. If you had taken that $500 and invested it into an S&P 500 index fund with an average 10% annual return, 5 years later, you'd have about $800. It doesn't sound like much until you realize that bag is now worth maybe $150 on a resale site. You're down money, you're stuck in the same cubicle, and your lifestyle is just a collection of dusty fabric. Now, look at version B. This version of you ignored the marketing department's psychological warfare. You took that $500, invested it, and let the compound effects start doing the heavy lifting. In 5 years, that capital has grown, but more importantly, your mindset has shifted. You've stopped paying for status and started paying for sovereignty. You aren't just wearing an accessory. You're wearing the peace of mind that comes from knowing you own a piece of the economy rather than just consuming it. The dangerous part isn't the bag itself. It's the fact that you're trading your most valuable asset, your time, for things that actually lock you into your current reality. Every time you prioritize looking rich over being wealthy, you're paying an invisible tax to the corporations that want you exactly where you are, broke, stressed, and scrolling for the next purchase. But here's the part that really stings. While you're busy trying to impress people you don't even like with items you don't need, there is a massive shift happening in how the elite actually manage their liquidity. Alarmist? You think that credit score is your golden ticket to freedom? But there's a specific, hidden trap buried in the fine print that could keep you paying interest for decades. I'll break down that trap in the next section, so make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're finally ready to stop playing the consumer and start building actual wealth. Here is the brutal truth you need to hear, and I mean really hear.
Wealth is not what you display, it's what you actually keep. While you're busy chasing the latest trend to impress people you don't even like, people who probably don't even care about you, the ones who are actually wealthy are quietly building empires that don't need a filter. That $500 bag you just bought, it's not an asset, and it certainly isn't an.
Tonight, I'm challenging you to try the 3-task lockdown. Before you go to bed, I want you to pick exactly 3, and only 3, non-negotiable tasks for tomorrow. No more morning of deliberation, right? No more negotiating with your tired brain at 8 a.m. By the time your feet hit the floor, your mission is already assigned. I want you to look back at your last 24 hours and tell me in the comments, which micro decision has been draining you the most? Is it the outfit struggle, the meal planning, or maybe that endless scrolling through your to-do list? Let's identify the leak so we can plug it together. If you're ready to stop the decision leakage and finally start winning your mornings, make sure you subscribe to Power of Mindset. We're going to keep decoding the science of your success and stripping away the psychological barriers holding you back. You know, I've enjoyed having you on this case with me. I'll see you in the next investigation. That $500 bag isn't an investment in your future self. It's an investment in your poverty. I mean, you need to hear this. Your brain is straight up scamming you. I'm going to pull the curtain back on the neurological trap that's keeping you broke while you think you're just treating yourself. If you don't watch this until the end, your next impulse buy might literally cost you your retirement. You look at that receipt and you call it self-care? Well, let's call it what it actually is, right? A chemical hostage situation. Every time you swipe that card for something you don't need, your brain is doing a little victory dance because it just secured a quick hit of dopamine. You feel a momentary spark of joy, you feel seen, and you feel like you're finally that girl who has her life together. But the second you get home and throw that bag in the closet, the high evaporates, and you're left with a shrinking savings account and a lingering sense of anxiety you can't quite name. I see you justifying it too. You tell yourself, I work hard, I deserve this, or it's a classic piece, it'll last forever. That's not logic, you know? That's a script written by marketing departments that know exactly how to exploit your insecurities. They aren't selling you a bag. They are selling you a shortcut to feeling successful without the actual work of building wealth. Meanwhile, that $500 isn't just money. At a 10% average annual return, that single purchase is actually costing you over $3,300 in lost growth over the next 20 years. That's not a shopping trip. That's a luxury tax you're paying on your own financial instability. You think you're rewarding yourself, but you're actually paying interest on your own lack of discipline. And it is time. It's way past time to stop letting your impulses drive the bus. Let's talk about the math your favorite influencers conveniently leave out while they're busy unboxing their latest investment pieces. You see, you aren't just spending $500 on a bag. You are actively burning an opportunity. If you took that same $500 and tossed it into a boring, low-effort S&P 500 index fund with an average 7% annual return, you aren't just losing the cash in your wallet, you are effectively torching $86,000 of future wealth over the next 30 years. Think about that for a second. You are paying an $86,000 impulse tax for a bag that will be out of style by next season. Right? That isn't self-care, and it definitely isn't treating yourself. That is a deliberate